gets really nervous because I'm going to go off script already. So, you're the guinea pigs. This is our first event, and Automation Nation is back in the Center of Excellence. So, we're going to do some selfies real quick. We got to get the energy level up. I want to see hands up in the air.
LFG, baby!
There you go, Tony. And my off script is for Tony's benefit, just so everyone knows. All right, let's do it. Hands up in the air. Make some noise. All right. Now my team can calm down because I'm going to move forward hopefully in the right direction. Although I think that went the wrong way. So. All right. So again, welcome to Automation Nation and welcome to Tampa, Florida. I want to start by saying huge thanks to you all for being here, investing your time here with us this week. I'm Jason Magee, CEO of ConnectWise, if you hadn't known already. We're thrilled to have you here this week, and it's a big week for ConnectWise. So we not only have Automation Nation going on here with you all today and tomorrow, and the second half of the week, another set of your industry peers will be here. We have our RKO going on 2 blocks south from here. So we have about 600 additional colleagues in town, getting psyched, energized, boosting their morale for the new year. And then we have IT Nation Evolve going on St. Pete Clearwater, so about an hour over the bridge. Another 500 to 600 of your industry peers doing deep learning, holding each other accountable, making their businesses more operationally sound. So, again, first Automation Nation we've had in a few years, and a lot has changed. This event, Automation Nation, is not just an event, it's mission critical to us all. It's not a conference. It's about deep learning. It's about understanding what you can do within your business to become more automated and more productive and improve efficiencies. It's about collaborative sessions. You're all going to come together and share best practices and ideas and who's using what around automation tools and what can be automated and possibilities. And more importantly, you're going to walk out of here at the end of 2 days with the beginning of a roadmap that you're going to be able to take back to your business and start to apply some of these things immediately. And it goes without saying, a lot has happened and changed over the last few years, so let's get into it. So, want to be clear, regardless of the tools you use, you'll hear from a bunch of my peers today on some tools that we believe you should be using, but regardless, make sure that you're using tools to implement some of this to get that benefit that we're going to go over and review over the next hour and then for the next 2 days. So the world is shifting, right? We all know it's shifting. Changing the way we work and interact, right? Think about that. Think about when ChatGPT hit mainstream early last year. February was the time frame that it hit 100 million users, right? Fastest to anything at 100 million users. Our reality is taking on new shape and possibilities open up, and new norms are evolving as fast as technology is at a rapid pace. So think about that. We're all in the technology world. We've been doing this pretty much our entire careers. It's getting faster and faster. So you got to get on board. It requires us all to bring a new level of energy, vision, and fortitude to take calculated risk embracing this technology evolution. I'll also throw calculated risk means take a look at your cyber practices, make sure you're doing the right things, make sure you understand what you're using and what it will do. To be leaders in the movement, right? You're going to take a calculated risk. You're all here because you want to be a leader in this movement. It will be a differentiator for yourself. And ultimately, everything that you all will do will help power the SMBs into the hyper-automated future as well. Again, just to reiterate, after this week, we want to enable you to unleash the power of ConnectWise AI and hyper-automation tools, not in months, not in years, but now. You're going to walk away with actionable stuff. All right, so a couple of things to keep us grounded here, right? So 2 points in particular to make sure you understand what the opportunity truly is. 94% of the global workforce perform repetitive tasks. Many of these tasks can be automated or streamlined. Think about that. 94% of the global workforce perform repetitive tasks. Those repetitive tasks are things that can easily be automated with the right thought process, approach, and tools implemented in the support of the business. And MSPs who embrace this movement can experience a potential of profitability and productivity improvements of upwards of 50%. Think about that as a differentiator of what you could reinvest into your business so you can compete and grow your business and deliver on your vision of success. The value proposition here is too good to ignore, especially for the majority of you here. Does this sound pretty good? Show of hands. Yeah. That's it? No more energy? 50% profitability improvement for the business owners? That's it? Come on. Let's go. There you go. As Tony says, LFG.
LFG. Let's focus on growth.
Hyperautomation, AI, all things automation is where everything and everyone is headed, and quickly. So we don't want you all to be left behind, and you're taking the first step. Something tells me this is not your first step. You've already taken multiple steps, and it's going to help reinforce that journey that you're on. All right, so a couple of things. Show of hands. How many of you are the IT or operations manager in the business in the room? All right, so majority of you, so about 52%. Let's see the technicians in the audience. All right, stats are holding true, about 21%. And business owners? So you all care about the profitability? All right, so I want to hear a lot of cheer when I talk about productivity improvements, efficiency gains, and profitability gains. Look, you're in this room, and I took those selfies because you all are the influences of this automation movement, and truly appreciate that. And the future of work, the future of you, it depends on your ability to adapt and innovate, to stay ahead. All right, a couple other things, right, to help you along this journey, becoming that automation influencer. This morning and this week, we're gonna take you through a few things. I said already, participate on collaboration sessions to deepen your understanding of AI automation tool and what's possible, what your peers are doing. Right? After all, IT Nation is a lot about sharing with your peers, learning what's working, what to stay away from, right? So make sure you participate. Actively develop that roadmap, right? This could be something that could be actionable, and certain things could probably be implemented almost immediately upon your return, and your team, your company will start to receive the benefits. And then again, communicate with each other, speak up, be vocal. Share your ideas, explain what you're doing, learn from others, ask questions what they're doing, what pitfalls to stay away from. It can be so impactful. And we'll also bring forward experts, right? You see a bunch of ConnectWise colleagues in the room. In particular this morning, you'll hear from ConnectWise CIO, Todd Hale. He's been in the IT world for about 25 years. We're lucky to have Todd driving our vision forward around all things hyperautomation here at ConnectWise. He's going to share with you things that we're doing and some of the benefits that we've already received. Jake Varghese, GM of the Business Management Business Unit. He's going to take you through some industry trends, but equally important, he's going to give you an update on all things Sidekick and the goodness going on in that world. And then Jeff will close this out, and he's going to give you an update on all things ASIO, RMM, or UMM, and RPA. A lot of these tools that they'll cover will help you receive those benefits that I'm talking about. Again, whether it's our tools or someone else's, please make sure you use the tools to realize this benefit. And it will be a great couple of days. All right, so some recap to some stuff that we covered at IT Nation Connect. How many people were at IT Nation Connect this year? By the show of hands, looks like only 50%. So 50%, it's going to be a recap. The other 50%, maybe you didn't hear, but you'll get some of this stuff from us today. All right, so I'm going to quickly comment on AI, artificial intelligence. It's set to take its biggest leap yet in 2024. There's no doubt that you've heard talk about job elimination due to AI, or how AI will create a world of nothing but machines and robots and make us all irrelevant. That's just simply not how we see it here, right? We launched and announced, and I mentioned it earlier, Sidekick, right? To us, it's complementary. It's the sidekick. It is to assist you, to make you better, to be able to do more. So again, it's not simply how we see it, and as we noted, it's that complementary effort. So again, if it's not about job elimination, then our focus needs to be centered around the roles that are most likely to be impacted, and impacted could be good, right? Could make those roles, those people more productive, more efficient, and how this can be leveraged as an opportunity to upskill employees to thrive in a new era, how we can make sure that we stay ahead of those threat actors, and you name it, the possibilities are unlimited in terms of what we can do here. And many of you are feeling this urgency. I know we are. Thankfully, and you'll hear from Jeff, it's always been core to the investment thesis around ASIO platform, right? All things hyperautomation, AI, machine learning. But many of you probably have questions, right? One question remains, how, right? So we believe in the value of training and education. As I had mentioned at IT Nation Connect, think you're level 1 techs. They should be a manager of robots at some time, manager of bots, right? You'll increase productivity and efficiency 10x. Think you're level 1 engineer. Think making them the automation lead within your company, right? Really driving that roadmap and delivering on the aspects of the roadmap that will make the entire organization from your back office, HR, finance function, all the way to the front of the office, right? So think of them as leading that automation initiative. And look, many of those titles, and we're not prepared for it, but those titles don't exist, right? That's what we're all gonna create. You're the automation influencers, and if you get ahead of it, just think about your imprint on history, right? You can help create what that title is in the standard of our industry. And however, this transformation cannot simply happen with AI alone. You've heard me say it, but you need a game plan. We're calling it your roadmap, but you need a game plan. And you need that roadmap to be able to make it happen. It's not going to be as productive if you just start going and doing. You need to understand. So you'll see a lot of this from IT Nation Connect. This is an illustrative example. It's not exhaustive. The different colors, dark blue is year 1, light blue adds year 2, green is year 3, vice versa. You do these over a multiple year process, you could receive those benefits of 50% productivity improvement, which leads to that profitability improvement. So just think about that, right? This is not illustrative, not fully exhaustive, it's illustrative. There's many more things that can be accomplished, right? So think about that for a second. It's endless. Think about your organization, how it's structured. Think of the repetitive tasks that everyone within your company perform on a daily basis, and that's what you're going to start to pull together here this week. All right, so do more with less, replace and consolidate multiple legacy systems, eliminating redundancies, and reduce human error, right? That's a lot of what this is about. The business owners in here, are you asking your teams to do more with less? Right? Just one? 1 out of the 11%? I'm pretty sure everyone. Jason, you're playing a bigger role in your company, right? If you don't have to add as many headcount, right, that helps make it more profitable, invest in your employees' training, additional compensation, whatever it may be, right? So how many others of you can relate to some of the things I'm saying? Not everyone's hands? Come on. All right. So again, all of this for the goal of making more productive and profitable. And over time, this could lead upwards to the 50% that's behind me on the screen. So again, that question, where do you start? You may be struggling how to start to realize these benefits, and you're not alone. Many of you may be fighting the same uphill battle as some of your industry peers. AI can and does feel intimidating, right? All the news out there as to what you should or shouldn't do, and does it go out into the internet ethos, and can someone steal your IP, right? A lot of unknowns, it's intimidating. AI and automation are at the forefront and require business investment, right? Just having a roadmap's not going to help. You need business investment, right? It's investment from the leadership team, the owners, the business owners, and you need to invest in tools to make that realization of profitability and productivity improvement. And putting this into play can even be risky, even frustrating, or for some, it's too big of a lift. So again, I'm sure many of you can relate. Look, again, I mentioned earlier, it's changing, right? Things are fluid. We're going from locked-in systems and having control to a fluid experimentation almost. And a company-wide vision and alignment across functional teams is paramount. So, where to get started? I'm going to leave you with a few things, and then the people who are going to energize you a bit more than I've been able to will come up here and take you through a lot of goodness. But the first step is gaining company-wide buy-in. Buy-in from the leadership team, the business owners, your peers. If you don't have that, you will not succeed. Right? So think about that. If you don't have buy-in, you won't succeed. Pretty simple concept, right? Step number one. Step number two, deploy a data-led discovery, right? Look at what's going on in the business. Try to figure out all those repetitive tasks. How much time can be saved if you implement automation in that area? Use that to prioritize and figure out where you want to start, right? And keep in mind, it's a multi-year journey. It's not going to happen overnight, but use data as your benchmark to plan out your future. Build your roadmap. Again, a big portion of this week will put you on that course to build out that roadmap. And it's so important. You come back with a roadmap, you'll immediately be able to start to get buy-in throughout the company. Tools, right? I said investment, I said tools multiple times. Hopefully you choose wisely and choose ConnectWise. But if not, use tools, right? You need investment to realize those possibilities. And then establish realistic timelines. I'm not up here saying you're going to realize this in 1 year, right? I'm not saying you're going to realize it in 2 years. It's a multi-year journey, right? It's too early to truly say how long it's going to take. We estimate, based on research we've done and discussions, it's upwards of probably a 3-year journey, because there's only a certain amount of time, talent, and treasure you all have to go implement these things and change business processes and get everyone trained and so on. It's going to take some time. So you have to be patient and be realistic about your timelines and what you put in the roadmap in terms of expectation and the true ROI and when you'll realize that. And then lastly, who is the automation lead? If everyone owns it, no one owns it, right? Is that how the saying goes? I didn't botch that. All right, Todd's giving me a thumbs up. You need an owner. You need someone who's going to wake up every day, live and breathe, and drive things throughout the organization. All right, so just to recap, here's 6, how to get started. This is probably not exhaustive. There's probably a lot more. I threw out terms like educate, new processes throughout the company. A lot more goes into it, right? But this is a simplified view of how you should start to think about applying hyperautomation throughout your business. And again, it starts here this week, it starts now. And you're all taking that step, making that investment. All right, so I'm leaving you in capable hands. So I'm going to bring on up our CIO of ConnectWise, Todd Hale. And Todd, come on up.
Thank you, Jason. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The only thing I heard out of that entire 21 minutes was establish realistic expectations and timelines. I don't think I've ever heard Jason say that before.
Really?
You all heard it. I think it's on tape. Yeah. Thank you, Jason, and good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be here with you. It's my first Automation Nation. And again, as Jason mentioned, I'm Todd Hale. I'm the CIO at ConnectWise, and we are really, really happy to have you here for the next 2 days. Right? So you're making a time investment, and I know when I go to conferences or shows or travel anywhere, I'm looking for one good idea. If I can walk away from whatever it is I'm doing with one good idea that I can take back and implement, that will have been successful.
I had one job and I failed.
You heard him say that as well. All right. So again, as Jason mentioned, I've spent a career in IT, mainly enterprise IT, across a number of industries. Excuse me. And I've been able to be part of a number of really, really cool, successful transformations projects. I've also been able to be part of a number where I had a lot of learnings. I had hair before some of those projects. But the one kind of central characteristic to those projects that were successful, or those programs that were successful, is they all had a strategy. People understood what we were trying to accomplish. There was an execution roadmap. We knew what we were going to do, and then we went and did it. We had the right level of governance on that. So while I know it's fun, and our temptation is to go and just do work, right? Let's get in, minimum viable product. We're going to go, and we're going to move fast. I want to encourage you to think about what it is that you're doing, develop a strategy, have a playbook. And so I want to talk to you about some things to consider as you're developing that strategy and playbook. You're going to have the opportunity in the collaboration sessions that Jason mentioned to talk to others and peers around what each other's doing. So that should be good, but we'd like to talk to you about that. But before I do that, I want to share a little bit about what we've been doing here at ConnectWise in the automation and just technology enablement space. So we'll start with those services that we deliver to our partners, or on behalf of our partners. So as you know, we offer a number of services that we deliver on behalf of our partners, from a help desk to network operations center, security operations center, and we have spent a lot of time. The teams have done a great job in terms of trying to automate those areas, because it's central to being able to deliver effective services. So if you look at our help desk, the team has done some traditional automation, implemented a number of scripts, automated manual tasks, and have improved the tickets per technician by 13%, and have been able to improve both our first touch resolution and overall resolution speed by about 6%. So pretty good results. I take 13% productivity every year, right? What's really cool is this year, the organization has really started to embrace hyperautomation, right? Generative AI. And the whole organization is focused on it. But if you look at just the colleagues that are in our services business, we had over 5,000 queries, nearly 500 colleagues leveraging generative AI. And that has had a really nice improvement. So we've been able to improve CSAT just in the last quarter alone by 11%. Right? So we've been able to reduce the number of escalations. We've been able to improve the first contact resolution, which is really, really cool. So it's about empowering our techs to be able to, with the tools and with the information that's needed, to be able to address the issue, right? So really good work there. You look at our NOC, which we've been doing automation perhaps the longest. We track this religiously. We have generated over 5,500 hours of productivity each month. 160 tasks, completely automated. That's 34 FTEs worth of work, right? Now those 34 people can do other things, right? Which is really powerful. Within our security operations center, so here the focus is really on how do we get our security analysts focused on security, take those administrative tasks, onboarding type tasks off their plate. Through implementation of SOAR technology, we've been able to improve the productivity of those analysts by 125%, right? So we can take our security folks and they can focus on security, because that's what they need to be doing, right? So we're really excited about the progress there. And the last area, kind of in our service delivery that I would call out, would be QA automation, which is a very standard use case for automation. People have been doing it for years. Well, this team has really, really taken it to heart. And over the past year and a half, we've implemented 35,000 QA cases, automated QA test cases. So it's quite a library. The team takes it to heart and is really getting benefit out of it. Okay, we'll spend a few minutes just shifting over. So we talked about, these are our traditional service delivery folks. I want to talk to you about what we're doing internally in terms of running the ConnectWise business. And so what you'll see here is just a list of standard processes within the organization by function. So everything from HR, talent management, over to financial planning and analysis. It's kind of the way that we look at the business. These green boxes are areas that we have implemented technology or automation to help improve results. And I would look at this and say, you can honestly take a step back and look and say, because of what we've done, our processes are better, and we've just really had good outcomes in terms of the technology that we've implemented. So to start with HR and talent management. So we've had a recent human capital management implementation, so a new HR system that was deployed that has really automated the whole hire to retire process. Right? Everything from recruiting and onboarding all the way through termination. Right? So that has eliminated a lot of manual workflows, required people to get in the middle, and has really automated that entire process. So we shift over to sales and marketing. Think about this as implementing marketing automation tools and sales enablement tools to manage the whole pipeline from leads to opportunity management, campaign execution, incentive compensation. So all of these are things that that we do, that we've deployed technology to become more effective and make sure that we are being as efficient as possible. Third area that I'd like to talk to you about is really kind of the core of what we do from a financial perspective. So several years ago, we implemented a financial platform that has really enabled us to manage our core financial transactions, whether that be our general ledger, accounts payable, how we manage tax, how we report our financial statements, how we perform payroll, procurement, right? So all of those core functions within the organization. Implemented, and clearly that's enabled us to grow. As a company, we've grown. We've added lots of colleagues, right, as we've grown. And this group has really been able to scale because of the technology that we put in place. Shift over to an area near and dear to my heart. Within our internal IT group and then our information security, which is run by my peer Patrick Beggs. So I'm really proud of what the group has done here using our own tools. Right? So we use PSA, we use RMM, we use Smileback, we use BrightGauge, right? So we use our own tools to deliver our internal services. We manage a little over 10,000 endpoints, right? Which is with a fairly small team. And we've been able to grow that without really growing this team. So again, some of the productivity that Jason mentioned earlier. Cloud infrastructure management, we are, from an internal perspective, we're 100% cloud. Right? So we manage all of our infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and have no infrastructure that we have to manage on-prem. So pretty excited about the progress there. And then in the security space, and Patrick will let me talk to you about all of the things that he's doing, but a couple of areas that I think, that I look at and go, man, you really make good progress here. That's in threat and vulnerability management and being able to look at our software, both internal, external, identify threats, prioritize, manage vulnerabilities, which we have software, right? There are always vulnerabilities. It's about getting visibility to that and prioritizing and investing to remediate those. So really good progress there. And then done some really good stuff in terms of using analytics and AI from a log correlation perspective within our sim. Made investments in partner-facing technology in terms of being able to manage partner success as well as manage work coming in from our partners. We've implemented a new case management platform. We've implemented tools to help better understand partner sentiment, automate quarterly business reviews, and just help us to get a better understanding of our partner base. Last area that I'll cover here is in the financial planning and analysis area, which is we have made some progress in terms of putting in place some what I would consider basic management reporting. A lot of opportunity in this area that I'll talk about here in a minute. So those are areas that just in the past few years that we've invested in. Now as I look at it and having to have a roadmap around what's important and where we want to focus, these yellow areas are areas that we are either pursuing right now or we have on our short-term roadmap. A lot of opportunity in the financial space for us, in the analytics space for us. I think this is kind of one of those things that you look at and go, every organization could better use data, better use analytics. We are really focusing on that. We've got a financial platform that we're early in the implementation or have it in place, but we're not using it as effectively as we could. Right? So I see that coupled with some investments that we're making in data and analytics to really get us to where we need to be from a financial planning analysis perspective. Also have some opportunities in the workforce planning area. Columns 2 through 4 there. A lot of yellow here. I'm excited about the work that the team is doing right now too. We've been for about a year working on a project to standardize, simplify, and automate our quote to cash process. Right? One of the things, you're all partners. You know that we've talked about addressing billing needs issues and making it easier to do business with ConnectWise. I am really excited to announce that we're really close to piloting a new solution that will simplify the way that you guys work with us, from our product catalog all the way through to how we build. So we're really excited there. That's going to make a big difference in our business operations area, and you will be hearing more about that and seeing it later this year. Within the internal IT group, information security, a couple areas that we are kind of on the precipice of really doing something good is within in the DevOps space, how we deploy internal software, not deploy software to endpoints, but how we actually deploy enterprise software. So we have a platform in place, and we are embracing all of the concepts of CI/CD and continuous integration of changes, which will make a big difference for us in terms of our ability to deploy releases quicker and more effectively. The last area, I talked about QA and some of our services area. We are still manual internally in terms of our quality assurance process, and so we're focusing on implementing a number of automated testing processes. We're investing, last piece on this, we're investing in automation for our onboarding group, service delivery, and how we deliver onboarding services to our partners. Pretty excited about this. We're weeks away, and we feel really good that this is something that by improving these areas, it's going to enable you guys to onboard quicker onto our products, which you'll be able to use them faster, more effectively, and again, so I think a win-win for both of us. All right, so done a lot internally, doing more. Just thought I would share that because, again, we all run organizations, and I'm a big believer in collaboration and getting inspiration from others. So now I want to shift gears and talk to you about, Jason was laid out a foundation for what you need to be thinking about, as you're thinking about automation. I'd like you to consider a few things, right? So I clearly believe you need to have a strategy, a roadmap, an approach. There's 5 things I want you to take away from this conversation. Okay. First is, where do you spend your time? Okay. Jason talked about a data-driven approach. You need to understand how your organization's been set. Taking inspiration from others. You are not alone in your automation journey. We have 50, 60 folks in this room this morning that are all doing things very similarly. You can learn from each other, right? You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Jason talked about who your automation lead is, so structure, how you want to think about organizing your teams. Talk a little bit about that. I'm a firm believer in don't approach really complex problems first. If you can step into things and identify those things that are simple, repetitive, build some momentum and move forward, you should be thinking about that. And governance. Everybody loves governance. Don't forget about it, right? So we'll talk a little bit about it. It's, again, I know the desire is to go fast and move quickly, but you need to be purposeful and make sure that you know and are tracking where you're going to go. So we'll dig into these real quick, and then I will wrap my talk up. So finding value for your company. So again, I think this is really a data-driven approach to where there is value. Now, labor is a huge investment that each of us makes. Right? 50 to 70% of your costs are probably labor. Maybe more, could be upwards of 80. If you know that, that's really where you really want to understand that, right? And so I would suggest that there's some things that you can do, right? Time tracking data to me is the holy grail. If you've got access to that, you can really get a feel for where people are spending their time, and that should be something that you look at. Support tickets that are out there. Do you have repeat tickets, right? Looking through those and trying to understand maybe where you've got human error and you're just seeing repeat tickets. Probably for some of the larger organizations, but look at your org charts. I've found a number of times where you're thinking, gosh, why is this organization so big? It's because we're throwing people at a problem. So that's a good indicator. Probably more on for some of our larger partners, but definitely question that. Take a look at your service level data. Again, maybe an opportunity where you've got human, not necessarily on the productivity side, but where you've got human dependent processes, and you can certainly do some good root cause and address those. Don't be afraid to document your processes, visual helps, and then ask questions. So all about how can we find value within the organization. Here, this is something I think this week is a great opportunity. So as I mentioned earlier, don't reinvent the wheel. We've come up with a number of those use cases that Jason reviewed. Borrow shamelessly from others. Talk to your peers. We're going to have the opportunity to do that this week. Okay, this is a little bit academic and probably only, I find it very, very interesting and very powerful because you do want to think about how you organize your team. But this is more beneficial for those companies that have multiple people and multiple teams doing automation, and you really want to think about how you're going to organize. So effectively, there's 3 models that you can look at. One is you can centralize it. You got one team that's doing your automation. They currently do a lot of your automation work. There's some benefits there. You get to scale within an area. You're doing a standard approach. You've got more control, but you now have one team that's doing that, right? So you're doing things in a standard way, but you got to have a good prioritization process to make sure you're focusing on the right things. You can completely decentralize it. Do your own thing, right? Folks in marketing want to do something, go do your own thing. Tech, the implementation folks want to do it, do your own thing. That can drive speed, but you also are likely investing in multiple people, you're not coordinated together, so that can drive some risk. The third area, the third approach, which is what we've done, is more of a distributed model. So we've got multiple automation teams across the company that work together. Right? We have what's a center of excellence where we have people that actually own what our strategy and our roadmap is and are working with each of the different teams. We also have a big thing here, and this is something that's going to be relevant to all of us, the citizen developer, right? This is your power user. This is with all of the tools that are coming out, no-code tools, low-code tools, our own product. We want to empower those people to build automations, but they need to have the right framework in place and the right playbook so that they can in a safe manner build their own automation. I mentioned earlier, keep it simple, high frequency, simple operations are really your friend. You can build momentum. Don't spend time trying to automate something that you do twice a year. It's just you're not gonna get an ROI on that. Avoid complexity if you can. Don't shy away from it, but definitely don't start there. Never automate a bad process. Don't be afraid of process re-engineering. And if you can eliminate problems, it's always the right answer. Okay, last thing I want to talk to you about this morning, and then I'm going to turn you over to Jake Varghese, is governance. And again, not something that we all wake up in the morning and get really excited about and say, I want to have the best governance program ever. But it is really important. And I want, as you're building out your plans and your strategy, I want you to think about it, right? So high level, it's managing your risk, quality, benefits, costs is governance. Quality assurance, make sure you test stuff. Make sure you've got the right level of auditability in your automations. Do you know what's running? Do you know when it's running? Do you know it completed successfully? All of those things that you want to consider. Because we're going to have many bots running and many automation processes running. You want to make sure you've got visibility into that. Don't ever forget about data security and privacy. Are you logging sensitive information? What's the level of privileges that your automations have? Right. So make sure you consider that. Have a scorecard. You want to be able to put the score up, okay? Because as Jason said, you're doing really well in this area. People want to invest in it. Right. The more success you have, the more resources you'll get to invest. And then last thing that I would say is just think about who the key decision makers are around what technology, what tools you use, and make sure you've got some procedures in place to introduce new technology. So went through that really quick. We'll be around over the next couple of days, so we're going to have a session where we're going to get to share ideas. Look forward to that tomorrow afternoon. And we can talk about if you have any questions or anything that I've talked about. So I would like to now bring up Mr. Jake Varghese, our General Manager for Business Management. Take it away, Jake.
Thank you, Todd. It is so exciting to be here. I got to tell you, since the moment Jason Magee announced that Automation Nation was coming back, I've been waiting for this moment. It's crazy because I was not part of the previous Automation Nation. The reason I'm excited to be here is Mr. Slagle is here. That's right. That's one of the reasons. Because this is a practitioner event. This is my people, right? The folks that write code, that do stuff. And as owners, I got you as well. Okay, please don't get me wrong. It's very important, especially because I'm responsible for business management. But I just wanted to say, you just want to be very open in sharing with you what it is that we're doing today. Kayla, our creative genius and logistical overlord, has told me that we're running late. So I will be at 1.5x, which is how I watch my YouTube videos, okay? So please hang in there with me. So before that, I just wanted to give my flowers to Mr. Todd Hale for dog fooding all of the products, yes, and mentioning that each of the products by name, because that is how we do business here at ConnectWise. Why? So that by the time these products and these solutions come to you, you know that it has been through that quality assurance. You know that we're running our mission critical workloads on the products that we request you to use. All right, with that, let's go. Remember, 1.5x. Here's the thing, right? I think Jason mentioned some of this. You already know this, but we refer to AI within ConnectWise as Psychic. Some of you might know the genesis or the reason behind that. Once again, we have Mr. Magee to thank for that, which is in our world, the MSP and the TSP is the hero of our story, and AI and everything else is merely a sidekick. It's a very smart sidekick. It's available to you 24/7, 365 to take care of you and to help you, right? So whenever, right? I know I look really young, but I've been around the block a couple of times. Okay, no responses to that. Okay, I get it. But whenever you have this sort of Cambrian explosion that is happening with generative AI today, I always stop and look back to say, where has this sort of a moment happened before? Why? Because we don't want to commit the same mistakes that we did, right? So we always look back in history and say, has something like this happened before, right? And in order to understand this momentous period, and trust me, when you tell your kids about what's happening here today and what's going to happen over the course of 2024, and it's not too far away, this is going to be a seminal moment in each and every one of our lives. It's not because AI has not been around. AI has been around since 1950s, but this is that inflection point. That's going to make everything go berserk. So I wanted to take a moment and walk you through this beautiful graph. That's right. We have a graph, folks, right, on this beautiful Seattle-like day in Tampa, Florida, right? But it's really important because this graph is a seminal work that was done by a professorial economist by the name of Carlota Perez. Right? She introduced a seminal work in the book, Technological Revolution and Financial Capital. The book draws on 5 key technological revolutions that have shaped our modern world. I'm not going to go through that again because 50% of you heard it from Jason Magee when he talked about it at IT Nation Connect in Orlando last year. But I just want to point you to a couple of things. One is, there is a similar pattern that has happened before that is happening again, which is there's emergence, there's diffusion, and then there's impact. And for the next, please pay attention to this. Whenever this technological revolution happens, there's always 2 phases. Just 2 phases, not 3, 2 phases. The first one is the installation phase, and the second one is the deployment phase. Very simple things. In the installation phase, it is characterized by the emergence of a new techno-economic paradigm and is driven by a flurry of innovation and investment. Can you imagine? Those are aligned? This is exactly what has happened in history. This is not new, right? Then, this is where you can play a key role, which is the deployment phase is characterized by the diffusion and the impact of that, okay? And I just wanted to say this cycle has started anew. We are currently in the installation period of this technological revolution. The launch of ChatGPT back in October of 2022 was that Big Bang event that you see on that graph. And while 2023, remember, 2023 was the year of experimentation. Oh my God, this ChatGPT thing is so cool. Carl Jackson's going, oh my God, this Midjourney image is so cool. It is actually really, really cool. But 2024 is the year of application. You have done the most amazing thing, and you probably won't realize it. Unfortunately, in life, we have to look back on life, just like Steve Jobs said, to say how to connect the dots. But the fact that you're here today, you could be anywhere, but you're here today suggests that you are going to be one of the folks that's not only going to survive this disruption, but it's going to thrive in this disruption. Why? Not because Jake said that, because based on the framework that Carlota Perez showed to us before, all the folks that leaned in during the installation phase and made available the deployment phase are the ones that survived and thrived. The rest, unfortunately, perished. So that's the sort of world that we're in. It's not a matter of if you're going to use AI or not. It's just a matter of what solutions are you going to use. Of course, we want to make sure that we're going to use our solution, but at the same time, we're also an open ecosystem, right? And we will continue to be that. Okay, so let's keep going. Finally, the chart is done. So let's kind of go through some trends. And I have to thank our good friends from Microsoft. By the way, we have a fantastic relationship and a strategic relationship with Microsoft, and they announced their future of work study, and it all went through what happened in 2023. Number 1, AI helps new as well as existing employees. The speed at which you can onboard a new employee is unprecedented. Typically, it takes months upon months upon months, and you wonder, gosh, when can I get up to speed? AI takes care of this like this. And for existing employees, Jason and Todd showed a lot of data around how it is that you can be productive, you can be more creative, how you can be more efficient. So I don't want to go through that again. The second thing, and this is unbelievable, and Kayla and Magee, our creative geniuses, can talk to about it, is that AI has helped us cross the chasm from just doing tasks such as summarization to addressing critical, complex problems. And I'll talk to you about it in just a moment. Right? There's this notion of micro-productivity. It's like, what the heck is micro-productivity? It's a fancy term for taking a complex task, breaking it down into smaller subtasks, and assigning that to micro moments, and figuring out which person is good at these tasks. Let's say, for example, when you're looking at security, I might contact Mr. Slade and say, hey, Jason, you're really good at threat evaluation, right? Understanding these edge cases, great. And then I kind of decompose that task into a variety of other tasks. Guess what? AI is fantastic at these micro-productivity tasks. The next thing is, just imagine the amount of knowledge fragmentation that's happening today. I see the vast majority of us, has a laptop, we're using a phone, we're connecting, we're building documents, the SharePoint. Guess what? All of our knowledge is resident and is across all of these domains. How do we make sense out of it? I'm serious. In order to be able to find something, I have to work with April and Pub and say, can we just stick to this particular team's channels because I just can't find any of the information. With what's happening with retrieval augmented generation, with fine-tuning and all other aspects of AI, you will have an unbelievable way to get answers, not just those blue links we're used to in search engines, but answers back from AI. Okay, final two things, and then you just take a breath. Remember, 1.5x. Two more things. One is, we are moving into a world, trust me, it is already happening, unbeknownst to us, where humans and AIs are complementing each other. Right? Whenever this new entity gets introduced into a system, you're like, wait a second, who are you? How did you come here? What are you about to do? And then a little bit, okay, you know what, I get it, you're benevolent, you're not going to do bad stuff, and actually you're useful. That's what's happening with AI at this point in time. We're going to start trusting AI to do a small subset of the work that, heretofore, you and I haven't trusted with doing, and we don't want to give that up. So what that does for us is that it enables us to do different things and higher order things. So that's happening. And the final thing, how many Star Trek fans do we have here? Come on. Okay, multilingual stuff. How long have we been waiting for real-time multilingual stuff? You go to a different place where you don't know the language, conversation happening in real time. It's here, folks. We don't have to wait anymore. So can you imagine a world with a combination of vision, quantum, multilingual, AI, hyperautomation? Suffice to say, I am super, super excited to be living in this time because the explosion of technology that's happening is unbelievable. Okay, so now, I promise, there's not too many of these slides, okay? So I just want to show you about some fundamental transformations that are happening. The first one is today, the UI is the system. Yes, I know there's a middle tier, there's a back end and all of that stuff, but the vast majority of us, we use the UI and say click, 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 talk, etc. Correct? Soon, AI is going to be the product. You've seen that already. If you haven't, check out the AI pin product. There's this thing that hangs out there, boom. You click something. There was Rabbit that was released at the CES. I mean, it talks about large action models, not LLMs, but large action models. It is happening. And the reason I'm sharing all of this is because at ConnectWise, this is how we're thinking about building product. This is how we're thinking about building core primitives into a hyperscale SaaS platform, ASIO. Next. What is it? Okay. I don't have my glasses because I just want to be cool for you guys up here, right? The next one is the experience to every person that writes scripts here, to every developer that writes code here. You want to, like Jason, you want to build deterministic system. Now, Jason, tell me, in the world of AI, when the models are constantly evolving, how do we have a deterministic system? So all the product folks within ConnectWise and in the industry are thinking, gosh, if you're in this world where the model is evolving, etc., how do I build a system that's tolerant of non-determinism? That is the world that we're moving into. The third thing is today, and I love this, and I absolutely love it, because today, when you have a new piece of software, you, the user, have to adapt to the system. You gotta go, you gotta learn it, you gotta get certified. Guess what? In this new world, the system has to adapt to you. You're wondering, wait a second, Jake, how are you gonna do that? Guess what? You're gonna be typing it in natural language, let's say something to like a Varghese, right, Pablo? That you might say, show me all my leads from the North America region for customers that are 10 employees or less. The system's got to be able to figure out how to do that. And finally, today, we interact with our system using single modes of interaction. Yes, you have voice available. Yes, you have text, you have touch, you have type. But guess what? We can do all of this at the same time. Now, we're truly going into a multimodal version of our work. It is incredible, the type of fluid experience that we're going to build it. Some of that we saw with the demo that Apple built with the Apple Vision Pro. Okay, so in the midst of all this change, in the midst of all this transformation, okay. Woo! You know, it's like, I can't contain it. You know, that's what's happening. Amongst all this change, we still need to do the stuff that we need to do on a daily basis. We still need visibility into our business. We got to figure out how to improve our employees' lives on a day-to-day basis. We still want to run a profitable business, right? And you're wondering, wait, how do we do this, Jake? And our point is twofold. Some of the stuff that Jason Magee and Todd Hale mentioned, and some of the stuff that Mr. Bishop is going to talk about right after this. But allow me to reintroduce you to the 50% that did not attend IT Nation Connect last year. I still hope that she's going to be there this year. But also to reintroduce that to the folks that attended IT Nation Connect. I just want to talk to you about ConnectWise Sidekick. It's a wonderful thing. First and foremost, it is your AI-powered digital assistant. It is purpose-built for the needs of DSPs. We have zero intention of building general purpose anything. You are our world. Everything that we're doing is to make your world better on a daily basis. The third thing is, and this is really, 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 really important, is everything that we do is grounded in security and along our responsible AI posture. If you haven't read it already, Jason Magee published our responsible AI posture. It is available on the ConnectWise.com website. Please, please, please check it out. It encompasses all ConnectWise products. Sidekick is making its way into each and every product that Amir is building, that Jeff Bishop is building, and that I and my team are building. And it's not only all the products that we're building, but everything that Todd Hale said is that Sidekick is going to be pervasive across everything that we do at ConnectWise. And here's the best part. It is built at the heart of ASIO, right? It is not a point solution. It is built at the heart of ASIO. So any solution that you're using that's built on top of ASIO, boom, you get Sidekick, you get Hyperautomation, RPM, workflow as part of it. And here's the best thing is, that's all wonderful, but here's what it does for you. It drives productivity, unleashes creativity, and makes you significantly, significantly more efficient. A couple more slides, hang with me there. Here's the evolution of the Sidekick AI journey. First thing is, it's all about descriptive, right? What we do is we take your data and do augmentation, and we provide insights on top of the data. The next slide, the next phase is that we start drawing inferences on top of the data and start making predictions so that you can take a look at it and take action. And the final thing, and this is where the magic truly happens, is prescriptive, which is we combine Sidekick with the power of RPA and workflow, and with your permission, we take action to remediate certain scenarios. It's a brilliant future. I know that is really, really hard to read, but I just wanted to show you what we're doing across the augmentation, across predictive, across insights generation, and across prescriptive, right? And remember, our North Star is the map that Jason shared earlier today, where he said, if you do all of these within X number of years, right, you'll start realizing the numbers that Jason put up there. Okay, so I just wanted to show you something else before I get to the roadmap slide, just to ensure that you know that this is reality, is what we've done thus far kind of disproportionately orients itself around the technician's needs. Okay, that's what we do. Because remember, I told you my people right here. But still, when you go back to your offices and you start engaging with your other team members, they're asking, wait a second, is Sidekick just for technicians and for service managers? No, it's actually for every role within an organization. It's for sales, it's for finance, it's for procurement, and also for the 11% of you who are owners. Sidekick gives you unprecedented visibility and insights into your organization. So, this is confidential. I know we're amongst friends here, so just wanted to show you, here's the roadmap that we're working on, and we're working on so much more because I only had one slide. Kayla said that I can only have one slide for this. No, just kidding. She said I have as many slides as possible, but it's really hard to read this up there. Gosh, guys, I mean, you shouldn't be taking off photos. I just said it's confidential, but that's okay. But let me make this promise. Not only are we going to deliver on this, we're going to deliver on so much more this year, right? So my only request to each and every one of you, something I wanted to reiterate what Jason and Todd said is, you're here. You already won, and you're already ahead of the pack. Because remember, this is happening. This is a winners and losers game. There's no in between. Lean in, right? We have the key engineering and product leaders for all of Hyperautomation that's here in Tampa, Florida, explicitly to engage with you. Lean in, share your feedback, share your requests, and also, once you're done with these beautiful 2 days, when you go back home or wherever you work, right, continue that engagement with us, right? One final thing I'll say is, we have a co-create program that we're organizing around hyperautomation. So I would encourage you to work with us closely, because if you do, one of the things that we promise you is that your scenarios will be made available within Sidekick and RPA and Workflow, and you can start using it out of the box. With that, I have the distinct pleasure to introduce the coolest person in ConnectWise, Jeff Bishop, who also happens to be the EVP and GM of the Unified Monitoring Management Pillar, as well as our ASIO platform.
I don't know about all of you, but I'm tired just listening to Jake for the last going at 1.5x I need to take a break. I can't speak that fast. I'm from the South, so I'm going to go a little slower as we progress. But one thing I want to make sure we accomplish, I appreciate everybody taking the time to come down to Tampa and to listen to us speak this morning and give you a little bit of the insights of where ConnectWise sees us going and where our products are going to go. But what you really came in here to do this week and for this next 2 days is to learn a little bit about RMM and Automate and Sidekick and RPA. And the people that are doing that are around in the room, I believe. So I got a few in the back. If you're with ConnectWise and you're participating in some of the sessions this next 2 days, please stand up in the room. Come on, back in the back. All right. Over here in the corners. These are the people, recognize the faces, see them. These are the ones that are going to be going through the training classes, the sessions, and introducing you to those. So make sure you ask them questions and learn while you're here. Okay. Now, if I can make sure I can use the mics. So we're going to get into a bit of a solution deep dive. So you've learned a lot today about how hyperautomation, very specifically the generative AI, the new large language models, how they're going to really influence things. They're already starting to blend our real and our virtual worlds. They're creating experiences and new automation that we would have thought was science fiction not more than about 12, 18 months ago. But automation isn't new to any of us in the room. It's not new to ConnectWise. About 40 years ago, ConnectWise started interconnecting the departments of an MSP with a product line called a PSA. About a dozen years ago, we worked with a company out of Ohio to bring forward what was probably the most extensible RMM platform ever, which was LabTech, now known as Automate. We haven't stopped there. All right, yeah? One of the original TMs back there in the back. All right, so we brought this to market. This is, again, one of the foremost points, those inflections that you see within an MSP space. RMM coming into the space, very similar to what we've kind of seen with AI as it progresses. So we've brought these in, but we're not stopping there. From that point, we've also introduced ASIO, which is a centralization of all the data infrastructure. It is what's going to allow product lines like RPA and Sidekick to learn all those databases and bring forward those new models and experiences. We brought forward the new RMM, which is new policies, new patching, new scripting, new alerting, new monitoring, and the very first instance of Sidekick, which was our PowerShell script engine. So in 2023, over 20,000 scripts were created. That saved about $500,000 as opposed to building these up from scratch. And in 2023, these will run more than 3 million times. Okay? So, we haven't stopped there. What else have we been doing? We've been working on our new RPA engine, which has quite a few different components. It has our bots. We launched about 130 bots at IT Nation Connect that connect with the endpoints and several SaaS solutions. We also then brought forward our new workflow engine. So, I love the way this looks up here in the dark mode. Yeah, a little boost for the team back there. Congratulations on the nice work. All right, this is simple, right? It is designed to be that thing that any member of your team can do. Whether you're going distributed, as Todd talked about, with centralizing, you're just dragging on a trigger, dragging on a condition, dragging an action. This is meant to be that simplistic model that any product, any part of any department, any person, any employee can start to utilize and implement across your departments in your company. All right, so now that's what we implemented 3 months ago, which 3 months ago in this space might as well be 3 years at this point, right? So what have we been working on ever since? Well, from a boss perspective, what we've done is we took a lot of your feedback and we said, hey, we get it. We've got to make this easier and more user-friendly. So we started putting in categorizations so that you can start to easily find these different bots from inside of the PSA chatbot. We've also started helping you get the setup, so we're giving you access to what error message or warning. Have you got the device mapped inside of your RMM into the RPA into your PSA, as well as if you have your SaaS application set up correctly. We've also started implementing new features into the form designer so that as you're starting to launch these or run these, we're bringing that information forward. And the team is also working on quite a lot of new features and functionalities, right? They're starting to bring the bots into the workflow engine. They're starting to implement AI so that you don't actually have to even go manually find these. They will just suggest and run for you if you so choose. And we also are going to start to work on a new bot builder so that you can start to build these bots inside the system yourselves, whether or not you want to do that through PowerShell or Python. Okay? So this is the first phase of what we've been working on the last 3 months. There's the notes. What's coming up next? Well, as I said, at IT Nation Connect, we released the new workflow engine. That had about 30 integrations and several hundred different actions and triggers to get you started. But I would expect every one of you would be thinking, yeah, 30 integrations, great, a couple hundred actions, triggers, fine, it's a good starting point, Jeff, but that's not going to get the work done for us. We've got hundreds, if not thousands, of products that are integrated across the different MSP space, and you need to be able to take these integrations and workflows across your entire tech stack, right? Yes? Yeah? Jason? Yep, absolutely. All right, I knew Jason would. He's the one that was giving me a hard time at Connect, telling me I needed to add more here, so thank you for that. So what we did was sit down and we said, all right, we get it. We know that you need more, so this is what the team has been working on. They started implementing new custom actions. What you're seeing here is somebody going in and creating a new object, a new action inside the system. They pick the endpoint up there at the top. Now they're going down and picking the parameters, the payload that needs to be applied to that endpoint as you go create that action inside the workflow engine. So you can go ahead and add the first. You can choose from, say, a string, a number, boolean. So integers. You can start to set these up yourselves. This is a very object-oriented design. What you're able to do is put the Lego pieces together so that you can create the triggers and the actions, starting with actions today, and put those into your system. So your team can go and say, this is the custom action. This is for the PSA, or for that EDR system, or some sort of a payment solution. So you can put those in and go set it all up. Once you've done setting that up, you go back into the workflow engine and say, hey, let's go create a brand new workflow. You go name that workflow, give it a description, set it up, do a little bit of tagging there. You start to drag in the trigger, drag in that action. Now you go over into that action, there it is. And there's those parameters you set up. We've just taken 30 integrations and a couple hundred actions and turned it into unlimited. Sky's the limit. It is your imagination as to where you want to go. So you can touch it. the one thing is that there's quite a few things that the team is working on, but the one that I'm really, really excited about beyond this is the community effect. You heard my friend Jake over here talk about, come work with us, partner up. Let's work on how to share this and make it amazing for the whole ecosystem. We're working on a community repository capability where you as an MSP can start to share these actions out with the rest of the community. So, you know, if one of you creates 1 or 2 actions, and somebody else creates 3 or 4 more, and then the entire 17, 18,000 plus members of the IT Nation community all create 1, 2, 5, 10, you now got the ability to expand out. So you're not having to build all this yourselves. You now have access to hundreds of thousands of custom actions that are already set up. And we're going to help curate that and bring that to the table. So please go upstairs during the breaks and talk to the team and ask questions about that. What else are they working on? Well, natural language processing. We want to make sure that we're bringing that into the system. Is that mine? Sorry. The natural language processing. We are bringing a new form designer into the system as well. They're bringing the bots in and additional security permissions and privileges on top of all that, okay? So the team is working on a lot. You're going to learn about all of this during the different sessions and breakouts today. All right? Coming soon, natural language processing, form designer, security controls. Thank you very much for all this. And now, coming back up onto the stage, Jason Magee to help close us out today.
All right. Yeah, clicker, not a mic, first off. And one way to get the Southern boy to speak quick is speed up the video. So well done. So as you can see, I'm the one who screwed up. That's why we're behind time, because I went over by like 8 minutes, and that's about the time we're over. So I'll keep it brief. So thanks to Todd, Jake, Jeff for taking us through the more meaningful content that I had. So appreciate you all, and hopefully they shared some really good stuff. I saw cameras going up and pictures being taken, so that's usually a good sign. So like they mentioned, please get with the team. We have plenty of people here, plus you'll see many more at the happy hour tonight and so on. Probably should not screw up the action items here. So, all right, you learned a lot, right? With that said, I can't screw this one up. Got a couple of things. Virtual community, right? That's your first call to action, right? Jeff's spoken about it, Jake spoke about it. Make sure when you go upstairs, learn about the virtual community, sign up. We're going to be bringing together many of you in this room and hopefully the second half of the week attendees and so on to learn from each other and continue that, the collaboration. Second call to action is there's promotions, right? Sidekick, RPA, go upstairs, chat with the team. We did this at IT Nation Connect, and quite transparently, went extremely well for our partners that got in, and will continue to go well for the partners, and they're starting to realize some of the benefits, hopefully many of you in the room. Third call to action is Automation Nation in June in Orlando, right? So Automation Nation is not a one-time event, right? So this is a journey, it's a multi-year journey. So every quarter, stay tuned. There's going to be more sessions, different things, and we're going to help bring you along on that journey, right? It's a multi-year process and journey. And then, a couple of things tonight. So I'm going to read here because I can't remember this off the top of my head. 80s, 90s theme networking happy hour at Gen X Tavern, a few blocks south of here. I think 2-3 blocks, give or take. Literally on the same side, 2-3 blocks south of here, right on the right side. So depending upon where your hotel is, maybe a little bit of further walk. Many of you will hopefully be there, and you'll see many, many more ConnectWise colleagues. On tap for tomorrow morning, we'll have coffee chats with ConnectWise. Come start your morning with some casual conversation. All right, so I'm sure you're ready to get started. This is the one I can't screw up. You're split into 2 groups for the rest of the day and a half, 2 days. You'll find your colored dot, with the exception of Slagle, because his badge is MIA. So we'll have to get that for him. Group 2, you will stay here in this room. Group 1, you'll meet in the lobby and you'll go up to the 7th floor. It's badge access only, so you need to go up with the ConnectWise colleagues. You'll be broken into 2 groups. If you need to go between floors, make sure you ask ConnectWise colleague. They'll kind of usher you around, be your Sherpers, all that good stuff. That works for you, Tony, Sherper. And there's coffee and refreshments down here. You got in that room. 7th floor will be right outside the Learning Center. So make sure you're hydrated, caffeinated, whatever is your go-to. And we'll meet again on the 24th floor in our large break room for lunch. And that's it. Thanks again for being here. Appreciate you all, and we'll see you in a bit. Booth 2 here, booth 27 here. Booth 2 here.